So there is this new level of power that you're coming into, and this power is the way you see yourself. And whatever you have recently gone through that has been very difficult and brought up anything that feels disempowering was literally the catalyst, not only to get you to this more empowered state, it is what was needed for you to hold this next level of success that is right. I mean, you are so, it's like it is here, but there's still some things that are waiting to materialize. And it's like these last steps of you just really owning your I freaking am and claiming it. And you had to, whatever has recently transpired that felt disempowering, that triggered you, that reminded you of your old stories that were keeping you in this old headspace, was about you facing it and you going forward despite that thing. And you know, there's something really empowering about whatever you have just recently gone through that felt disempowering, that felt like a regurgitation of an old fear or an old trigger. It's almost like that had to surface up because you had to face it, and in facing it was the transmutation, and in facing it was this like phoenix death and birth thing that has to happen. Like you getting disempowered, you getting triggered, you having that really challenging circumstance happen is so you can get this manifestation that you've had your focus on for quite some time now. And for some of you, it's been years that you have been working towards this thing. And this, what is so cool about this new level of power, it's like, okay, you had to like forget your power to remember your power, but you're remembering it in a new way because you faced this last challenge, or you're in the middle of it now. You're facing it in a new way. You're facing it, and despite it screaming at you, telling you every old story, telling you every disempowering thing, and you believing it, you're still going forward. You're still doing it scared. You're still walking. And this level of whatever you have, you know, that challenge was, that internal conflict is the thing that is leading you to feel way more freaking empowered than you did before the thing happened, before the trigger happened. And it was all so you can get to this manifestation that you've been working on for so long. So when it, you know, get empowered about your freaking disempowerment, because that's what it's doing. It's helping you, it's purging you, there's something you're giving death to. This is not ending something. This is, well, it's ending an old version of you that can no longer, it's ending the version of you that would crumble under the weight of this new level of success that you're right there. And you know what? You're so freaking right there, because think of a baby inside of its mother's stomach. The world, it's right there. It's right. That's what's happening. You're right freaking there. Like that skin on the mother's stomach, between the fetus, the baby, and the outside world. You're in it already. You're in this level of success. There's just like this really big piece of the puzzle of like giving birth to the thing that's gonna happen next for you. And that's why it might feel like you don't fully see the materialization of it. And it's hard to even recognize or come up with this idea of like, what does it even look like that I am trying to create? It's because how can a baby in the stomach of a mother conceptualize what the next phase of its life is? So it's going to be really freaking cool and awesome. And there's this other thing about really being okay if there's something that has come up that has disempowered you, that has strangled you with fear and insecurity, because one, you're going to get over it. You're going to transmute it. It's the thing that is the catalyst to remember your power in a new way and to get you to this thing that you're working towards manifesting. So thank God for that. But there's this thing about your fear, okay, right? So like, for you to be fearless, you first have to be fearful. I mean, the word is in it. It's not less, it's fearless, okay? Like, you first have to embody the fear before you can then transmute it, understand it, and then become fearless. And I am super excited. My I Am Fearless workshop, January 12th, that's a part of my membership program starting in January. And I'll explain that after if that sounds like something you're interested in. But it's taking this new level of like befriending our fear and working with it to work with us. So instead of being so scared of our fear, we change our relationship to how we react to fear, because it's really just us being afraid of fear. So what happens if you change your relationship with it and know it's just actually usually signaling that we're ready to level up in a different way? So we're going to be using body tech, voice medicine, art medicine, animal medicine, all of it. Stay till the end of this reading, and I'll share more about that. So let's just get into the reading. Okay, so I want you to just think about what recently have you given your power to, and call that the freak back in. So if you can do a movement, get in there, call it in. Like, did you give it to your boss? Did you give it to your work? Did you give it to your partner? Did you give it to your children? Like, just call it in. And as you call your power back in, because we're going to ask your empowerment, any love, wisdom, and guidance, call it in. Call it in. Okay. Now that you've done that, stand in your freaking authority, put your hands on your hips, and declare your I am. Just say how powerful you are. Just say your I am this, I am this. And as you I am, let's see what your self-authority, that's the other thing, is you're really stepping into this new level of self-authority. Like, if whatever you've dealt with of looking for something on the outside to tell you that you're pretty, or to tell you that you're good enough, or to tell you that you're worthy, or to tell you that you deserve, or to tell you that you're lovable, or to tell you whatever other BS, it's like you're gonna start being your own self-authority, because you're understanding how freaking valuable you are. It's like you going into 2025, it's like a new level of you seeing your value and you seeing yourself differently, like in a really awesome freaking way. Like, no more mirror tearing down yourself in the mirror, no more of this like lowly insecurity. It's like really kind of getting like, dang, I am this thing. I am this diamond. I am this gem. Okay, so speaking of that, there's something you want to manifest. And yeah, it's an outside thing, duh. But really, you're going to manifest it through being the inside thing. So who is this version that you're blossoming into, that you're giving birth to, that can hold this level of success? Who is so freaking empowered? Who has overcome that test and difficulty and freaking killed it? Who is that version? That is the one that can manifest those things. But it's not about manifesting the outside things. See, that's always the backwards. Like, I want to manifest the boyfriend, and I want to manifest the money. I mean, hey, we all do it, right? But like, it's you. Who are you claiming to be? That's who we need you to be to get all that other whatever stuff. So say it out loud. Let's do 2. And then 1 from the body tech deck. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, so freaking cool. All right, yep. Love that. Hell yeah. This is great. Okay, so you calling back your empowerment. I was gonna show the card, but I didn't. But for that card, my shadows make diamonds. And what is she doing? In this picture, she's calling in her shadows to create and turn it into a diamond, which is also you calling back your freaking power from those things and turning it into some kind of a gold mine, turning it into your gift, because you're the freaking gift. So you calling back your power, its message to you was call back your freaking power, call that back in, and there's some kind of amazing gift, and it's you. Whenever there's a diamond in one of my cards, it's about you realizing that you're the gift. And what is she doing? She's creating the abundance portal out of her pain, out of and like, I get that this is about the shadows, but this is also about reclaiming your power and calling that back in, because it got all weird and shadowy when you put your power and your authority in something outside of yourself. So I'm going to skip over, because it all relates. The last pile of cards we pulled was from the thing you're working towards manifesting. And the body tech card is I am the portal. She's becoming the abundance portal. She's freaking shooting out her gifts from her hands. And she's like this joyful rainbow. So you right now have had to go through this shadowy freaking moment, and you needed that to harness the energy of that, and you're capitalizing on your pain and turning it into your freaking gift, and then creating an abundance portal so then you can share your gift. How cool is that? Oh, and speaking of abundance, your power that we called back in, you got the abundance card. See, this is all about you going into this like 2025, this new year, this new you, this like ending of something that's ending a cycle of who you have been. And I'm also probably going to be, I mean, it's almost the winter solstice. It's in a couple days, and I might actually put this out on YouTube on the solstice. But there is something coming to an end, something that was keeping you from receiving this abundance. And whether it's sabotage or insecurity or fear, it's all something that was clenching you in some level of fear that was restricting you to keep you safe. And it just wasn't keeping you safe anymore. It was stopping you from your biggest dreams. And then you faced it, and then you integrated it, and then you are turning it into diamonds. But the whole thing is, through that restriction then comes expansion. So there's some kind of massive freaking expansion, like abundance in a way that you have never experienced before. Abundance because it's the abundance of your freaking self. Like, I want to get this through your skull that the most amazing thing is upon the horizon. Like, you watch this. Whatever I'm saying is because you're on the same wavelength of becoming empowered, of healing your crap from your past, of aligning with your purpose and sharing your gifts with the world. And, you changing you is also uplifting and changing the world. So you're healing and uplifting yourself. Anyways, it's just like massive abundance. But the other card that was pulled from you calling back your power, keep trying. And I've always had like an annoyance towards this card, but because it's the thing is, you've had to try so many times, so many times, and there has been a part of you thinking that someone, maybe like a savior, like someone would come and help, someone would see that you were that great and then help you, someone outside of you would promote you, this is about you actually having to do it yourself and having to, and And through that journey of looking outside yourself, you actually learned so much of things that you could use for yourself. So it's about, the starfish is about, one, the wish is granted, but it's you're going to be the one that grants your own wish. It's not anyone outside of you. And in that, that's another reason why you're going to see how freaking power, like, it's almost because of that your self-esteem goes up like 1,000,000%, because you're like, I did it. I did it. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the Body Tech deck. Create all of it. So it's just a given. It's saying you're going to create it. You're going to create the world you want to live in. See, she's giving birth to the world she wants to live in. You're still in the pregnancy moment, I think. I think you're very close to giving birth to this next version of yourself. Or maybe you're in the middle of the birth. It's really excruciating or whatever. But like, it's gonna freaking happen. There's so much like, hi, abundance. Hi, she's creating the abundance portal. Hi, your manifestation is like, you become the abundance portal. It's just giving abundance. Okay, so what your self-authority wants to share with you. Remember, like, put your hands on your hips. And of course, this is about self-authority because there's some kind of you emerging from remember the slingshot, you get pulled way freaking back to go way freaking further, and she is jumping into the ruby, which in Sanskrit is the king of all gemstones. What is a king? It's freaking self-authority. So this is about whatever kind of hellfire you were currently in is literally the thing that is the catalyst to jump you in, to slingshot you into this new awareness and like ownership of how freaking amazing you are. And your self-authority is like prayer freaking answered. But you better believe you have to act as if your prayer has been answered. And acting as if your prayer has been answered is almost like you answering your own prayer. Remember, she answers her own wish. And this is like by you acting and having this trust. Like, okay, so there's two things here with this prayer. There's this moment you're being asked to, and if you're in it, if you're in this moment, the hellfire moment, prayer, asking for help, ask life, just speak to life, just ask life for help. But then there's going to be this shift, okay? And it's like life is helping you and you're helping you, where you like remember your power, where you're like, oh, right. I just felt like I was going to sneeze, but it like went inside, but not. Okay, so life is like here supporting you, especially if you're in this moment of a really, really painful time. So just say prayers to life. Like, it's almost like you just have to pick up the phone and communicate with it. Like, that communion is gold, that communication with life, because there was this whole thing, if you ever watch the stuff about Dr. Emoto, the Japanese scientist who studied water, and like they did this test with water in like rice cups, and some you would talk to it like for a month. They put rice, I believe, in a cup of water, and like one of the test tube of rice, the jar of rice, it's like they would talk to it. Another one, they yelled at it, and then the last one they ignored it. And like what they noticed is after a month of doing that, the most putrid one was the one that was ignored. So it talks about this level of connection. Like, even kids who are totally like having like the worst parents saying the worst things, there's still connection. Okay, we are wired to have connection. It's not, I don't want to say it's better, but maybe like there's something, at least there's connection, right? So this jar shows that like no connection was like the most disgusting outcome for all those jars of water and rice. I mean, I might be saying this, I think that's what they did. So this is about you taking this effort to connect with life and to use your voice and just freaking connect with it. Just ask for help. But there's going to be this moment where you also need to help yourself. It's like this double whammy. Like, you ask life for help, and life is like, hell yeah, I'm going to help you, but you also have to help yourself. Like, it's a two-way street, mother lover. Like, life is like, I got your back so freaking hard, but you need to take the effort. You need to, and like, I need you to trust, and I need you to believe in yourself, and I need you to know that this thing is gonna freaking happen. I need you to change your understanding. I am talking to you. This thing is gonna happen for you. This thing that you've been working toward manifesting with all your heart, like, know it in your heart that the thing is happening. And the thing that you are working towards manifesting, what it wanted to share, look at self-love, self-value, self-worth, you know, this little piggy coming out of golden coins, squirting rainbows and hearts out of its head. This is like this thing that you're manifesting. Like I said, it's not the outside thing. It's like, who are you on the inside that is able to manifest those things? And it's the version of you who's so freaking in love with themselves, who's so like honoring their own worth and value. And because they see that, then they are able to like see that they can manifest these things. And in that, it's like you become this amazing abundance portal, and you're just like hype and full of joy and full of color and life, and sharing these diamonds. You're sharing your gifts. But the gift, there is something still unknown coming for you, unknown gift. And that's like the baby in the stomach. Like, it thinks it has, and I mean, you think you have an idea of this next level of yourself, but there's something that it's still gonna be different, because life is so mysterious like that. Like, you can plan and logic your way around all of it as much as you want, but it is going to be different. And what else is gonna happen is that in this next level of yourself, you're going to have gifts that you weren't even aware that you freaking had. How cool is that? It's the kind of gifts that have been like locked in your DNA, and maybe you've touched on it, and maybe you've had slight moments of that gift, but there's something that is coming out because you're really getting how valuable you are. It's like you're really coming through, and like you're just this portal, this vessel, this channel, because you're not being like veiled by these programs that were never you anymore. So it's this true self and this true self expression that gets to cultivate and tend to this gift that is like waiting to be shared with the world. So that's freaking awesome. Okay, that's your reading. Let's talk about I Am Fearless, and let's talk about this membership program and why you need to be up on it. Because you know, so it starts in January, and it's called I Am Empowered. So it's pretty freaking cool, because basically every month there's going to be a workshop. If you have not done one of my workshops, you should get a taste of Cara Elizabeth. I Am Empowered, the I Am Abundance workshop. I'll link it below. I did a free live YouTube one, and it was awesome. It was so freaking awesome. Like, everyone in it, like, it was great. It was great for all of us. So did you hear that? Thank you. So there's going to be a workshop, but then there's going to be a 19-day challenge. And in that 19-day challenge, have you ever done like an awesome retreat or workshop, and then you go back to your normal 9-to-5 job or your whatever relationship, and then you get like sucked back into that old version of yourself? It's like you're no longer hyped from everything you learned and believed in from that workshop. So what we do, we then have a 19-day challenge where we as a community, and there'll be like check-ins, like where we stick to this thing that we're all going to do for 19 days together, and we check in like day 1 complete, day 2. So we're holding each other accountable, and that collective energy is actually empowering all of us to jump into a more empowered version of ourselves, because the work people do when they're working for a similar thing, and when they all come together to do it, it's way more powerful than just you doing something alone. So we're capitalizing on each other and on our unity to become more empowered. So this workshop that is for the first month of January is called I Am Fearless. So we're going to befriend our fear. We're going to work with Black Panther leading us to Buffalo. I think Eagle's going to be up in there. We're going to work with Pig, voice medicine. We're going to do body tech. I mean, we're getting experimental. This one, you will need to bring crayons. There's going to be art medicine too. And we're just befriending and changing our relationship with fear. So, because fear is always going to be there, but if you can change your relationship with it and then use it to transmute and turn into these bigger things, that so you can hold the weight of your dream, that's what we're doing. And if you join in January, it's going to be $27 for the rest of however long you stay a member on that program. $27 a month. Otherwise, starting in February, it's going to be $33. But the other cool thing is, say you just want to do the workshop. You're like, oh, I don't really want to do the membership. Fine, do it for that month, because the 19-day challenge is almost a month anyways. So then you just cancel it at the end of the month. The other thing is that there's a body tech library where there's this whole evolving library of feelings you might feel, and you pick a feeling. Like, I'm feeling, I don't know how to surrender. I want to amplify my self-worth. I am taking things too serious, whatever. You pick that feeling and it leads you to a video with a body tech, a movement, and some of them, there'll be animals or whatever that freaking gets you back into your power, so you can shift out of that disempowered state. And that's going to be ever evolving. And in that, you guys are asked, tell me what else you want to get out of. How do you, what would be a cool thing that would be helpful for you? So that's going to be an evolution library. And then there's obviously readings that are just going to be for the people in the membership. But it's going to be awesome, guys. It's going to be fun, and it's going to really, expand and grow as we expand and grow and become our most freaking empowered selves. So all the info below, you'll be able to sign up. I might open it a couple days before January 1st, but basically it starts in January. And then the I Am Fearless, it is January 12th. It is on Zoom. There will be, so that's a Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, but there will be a replay always available. I love you guys. Big things are happening, big changes, huge levels of you seeing your self-worth and self-value. And if you are in the fire right now, endure, endure, endure. You are going to transmute it, and it is so you can come to this more empowered state. Just know that's the gold mine at the end of the fiery rainbow. Okay, world peace forever. I love you.